I have a theory. I'm almost positive you, me, the world, we have all been lied to. Kanye West is a genius and he's taking advantage of us for one of the biggest money grabs ever. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you why. So for those of you who don't know, Kanye's mother passed away several years ago from an unfortunate elective surgery, and I believe that's had reverberating effects on Kanye West. As a bit of a primer, I have not actually seen the documentary on his life going into this. These are just my observational thoughts on a man that I've happened to follow the career of, like most of us, because he's got good music. Between his third album and his fourth album, his mother, Donda West, passed away. God rest her soul. And in that time period, the man's music changed. 808s and Heartbreaks came out, and you had a very different side of Kanye. It's almost like he was pushing the boundaries of what he felt comfortable with. I have long believed, for those of you who watch this channel, that adversity builds character. And as a result of adversity, that character you develop makes you stronger and really makes the numbness of all the things around you go away. So how does this relate to Kanye West? Well, my theory is the man is not suffering from a mental disease or this bipolar disorder that we all think he is. That can be controlled. And frankly, some of the things that he says that seem irate and visceral actually wind up coming off more authentic and genuine, and people can actually relate to it. But I'm going to point to some things that I think are relevant. For those of you who don't know, Donda came out. His last album came out, and it was competing against Certified Lover Boy from Drake. In the media, there was this huge Drake or Kanye battle going on at all times. Was that real beef? I don't know. I don't really think it was. But now in retrospect, when you think about all the things that have happened since then, I can almost confirm for you that it wasn't real. It was a PR play masterfully designed by Kanye, whoever is behind him, and possibly Drake's team to really boost sales, because you had to listen to both to be able to tell who was the outward winner, right? And we know we all did, and we all had an opinion. So let's break this down. What happens right after this? Well, Kanye West, the man who was known for being disruptive his entire career, who was wearing pink polos when thugs were wearing dressing a completely different way, he has always gone against the grain. So why does it surprise anybody now that Kanye West is once again going against the grain? And let's not forget, the numbers back Kanye West's decision making. He is a billionaire, and while he may have lost friends, because like Jay-Z and Beyonce, who seem to fly a little bit more under the radar and be reserved in the way they handle themselves, for Kanye West, this outward persona has made him a lot of money and given him a lot of opportunities. So Kanye West, since the divorce from Kim just a few months ago, maybe a year at this, he drops Donda, Certified Lover Boy, Is It Beef, that goes back and forth. But then Kanye West has a very public relationship with now ex-girlfriend Julia Fox. And if you look at those photos, and you looked at them at the time, you may have thought, oh wow, they're in a relationship and that's just his response to Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson. But look again at those photos. Those were structured, doctored photos taken by somebody else. They were actually presented as a media campaign to all of us. Who took the photo of Kanye and Julia West? And there were several dates after that in which Kanye and Julia went out to public events with a lot of people. One of which is even a photo with Madonna and several other people in the room, really showing off the prowess of their social notoriety. You gotta believe if you're the Jenner Kardashian camp, you would probably have a response to this that would be a public statement or an outward public statement in order to control what damage you think may have been caused. But there was no statement. What happens next? Kanye West's erratic behavior comes on an interesting time ahead of the release of some new music. Donda 2 is coming out, and Kanye West can't seem to stop posting on Instagram and being all in our faces. So much so that all the drama from Kanye West's Instagram was getting such a public response that he was trending over the Super Bowl during the Super Bowl on social media outlets. That is a phenomenon that not many, if anybody else, can pull off. And it goes to show you that his press, his level of people peaked at their interest level, and what he's doing is so massive, it blew away television and all of us who traditionally sit on the couch watching a football game, because more people were diving into their phones trying to figure out what was Kanye going to do next. It sounds crazy to some people. To me, it sounds absolutely friggin' genius. So now he's trending over the Super Bowl. He's frequently posting on Instagram and has grown his social media presence from what was at the time when he started this erratic posting, 12 million followers, up to 15 15 million followers, and now he's posting in a way that nobody else is doing. He's changing the game yet again. He's not just posting things in his feed or posting things to his story. He's posting things and then deleting it, so you have to be observant on his account and be engaged in order to see the things that he's doing. He's found a creative way to hook you, to hook me, to hook all of the world into watching what Kanye West is doing. This press, good or bad, like him, hate him, love him, whatever it is growing his brands. And the next things that he did were a dead giveaway, to me at least, that there was more going on here than we knew. So he automatically says that he's going to release Donda 2 solely on his own stem player, and then starts releasing the numbers of how many units he's sold. He's now changing the landscape of music, while at the same time, now days afterward, he has continued a 4-day streak as the most streamed artist on Spotify, even while releasing his album Donda 2 exclusively on the stem player. So he's getting the results from activities that we all look at and go, why is he doing this? This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to make any sense. It's getting results. And yet we're sitting here thinking, is Kanye West struggling? Does he have a mental disorder? He seems to be fighting for his wife back. Well, guess what? His outward fights and commentary about getting Kim Kardashian back and his over-the-top just activities and gestures that he's doing, like sending a truck full of roses to her house, that is authentic. That's relatable. Do you know how many people get divorced and want to be back with their wives? Do you know how many parents want to be around their children? Do you know how many parents want to be close to their kids so that they wish they could buy a house across the street for them? So as much as we think that this stuff might be just bizarre behavior, it's kind of the stuff that we all wish we could do and can relate to on some level. Divorces aren't easy, and I'm the last person who's going to judge somebody who wants to make amends and wants his wife back. Good for you, Kanye, for being public about it. Why do we think that he's crazy? Why do we think this behavior is bizarre? Or are maybe we the ones that are a little confused as to what normal is because we don't expect celebrities to act like us, or at least have feelings like us? Continuing on, some odd things happen in response to all this activity. Kris Jenner is probably one of the most prolific PR personalities ever, and she and the Kardashian tribe have remained uncharacteristically silent and unresponsive to what appears to be a lot of drama. Why hasn't any of them done anything from an outward statement perspective? Because this media, this PR push, all this information that's out there makes all of them continue to be relevant in a way that keeps us interested without them having to do anything. You think Kim Kardashian sending text messages to Kanye West, not knowing that Kanye's going to use them for something? Do you think that she could easily pick up the phone and call him rather than have these conversations this way? Absolutely. And do you think that the fact that he's putting them on his social media and then ultimately taking them down makes everybody really curious to what happened next? Of course it is. He's now controlling the paradigm by being his own news outlet and being his own reality TV show where he's controlling what access to information we as a society get. It's rather brilliant. Moving forward, let's go with some Kardashian responses, right? The Kardashian family has been able to leverage the drama and adversity to build a billion-dollar empire themselves, so they're no stranger to being in the headlines for good or for bad reasons, and we all know what I mean by that. Press is press, and they remain relevant as long as Kanye continues down the path that he's on. So why would you stop the money train? Because what's good for Kanye is good for the Kardashians and vice versa. Love him or hate him, this is building both their brands. And let us not forget that Kim Kardashian does own a certain portion of Yeezy, which is my next topic. Okay? Gap, all these brands that have supported Kanye West, no one's pulled the plug. No one said, this guy's absolutely batshit crazy, I'm gonna leave. They've all supported him, and they've continued to pile on additional people that are willing to put their brand on the line for Kanye because he can move units. He's making money with this behavior, going against the grain. It's no different than wearing a pink polo, it's just on a massive scale. A couple more things to think about, and I promise I'm gonna wrap this up quick. Despite the popular emotional sentiment, Kanye's outbursts have not had a negative impact to those brands. Not a single one is backed out of their relationships, and this massive, elaborate PR play that we're seeing out rolling in front of us hasn't actually done anything besides help him. This isn't Britney Spears where a 5150 was called in and she was going crazy and all these things were happening. You have a functioning adult in society, building companies, changing the way we think about things, and leveraging his social stature to grab us and rope us all in, all while he drops a documentary about his life. You can't tell me the timing of all these things happening is coincidence. We, society, have been played for fools, and we didn't see that this drama was created, manifested, and built to build another portion of their multi-billion-dollar businesses. So I hope you take this in mind when you think about the greater context of what's going on in society. Frankly, none of this should surprise us, but it's so easy to get caught into the drama and not see the bigger picture. Kanye West might be bipolar, but he's also an exceptional businessman.